If Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson was written today, it wouldn't have a candle's chance in a hurricane of landing a traditional publishing deal. Okay, don't get me wrong, this is an entertaining novel for sure, and it's absolutely foundational to adventure fiction and pretty much every pirate trope you can think of. But there are many elements that don't align with current market expectations for young adult fiction. So let's take a look. The modern concept of a swashbuckling pirate with a peg leg and a parrot on his shoulder is absolutely derived from this book. Treasure Island wasn't the first fiction ever written about pirates, but Stevenson crystallized the image of the classic sea dog with a mutinous crew drunk on grog and violence and in desperate search for a treasure marked on a map with a big red X. He gave us Long John Silver, a charismatic leader of buccaneers with equal parts ruthlessness and honor. Silver is actually an archetype for so many pirates in novels, films, and television, including, of course, Captain Jack Sparrow. Let's start with Long John Silver. One of the expectations of the YA market today is that a young adult book needs a young adult protagonist. And while Treasure Island does have a young adult narrator in Jim, he doesn't really drive the action for most of the book. A bit past the midpoint, he starts to go off on his own and have a more consequential impact on the story's momentum, but for the first half, he's very passive. Once Flint is dead and they recover his treasure map, the local magistrate/doctor takes over the quest and begrudgingly agrees to bring Jim along as cabin boy. But the Doctor isn't a true protagonist either. He comes in late, and while he is one of the most pivotal characters, he doesn't experience an arc in the same way that Jim and Long John Silver do. It is, in fact, Silver who acts as the protagonist. He is the threat that drives Captain Flint to Jim's inn. It is Silver's men who track Flint down in an effort to recover the treasure map, and then it's Silver who tricks the company into hiring him as cook and agreeing to bring along a crew that he has hand-picked. Of course, they're all pirates. He is still a villain, though, but he's there from the beginning to the end, the singular driving force behind the entirety of the plot. And there's a term for this. Long John Silver is a villain protagonist. You can find similar structures in Orwell's Animal Farm and Christie's And Then There Were None. Young Jim's lack of causal action is the biggest issue that runs afoul of current market expectations. There are some small plot issues I could nitpick, but the other main problem is that Jim's character is very flat. When the author wants to create more tension, Jim is a fearful mess. When the author needs Jim to do something, he's suddenly extremely brave and resourceful. But whatever. The point is simply that the market has changed along with reader expectations. That doesn't take away from the value and fun that this classic story still contains. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out.